beautiful 73-degree night here in Sacramento. This is second round coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Tonight, 2 tickets to the Sweet 16 waiting to be punched. The Rhode Island Rams surging out of the A-10, winners of 9 straight, and the Oregon Ducks, this powerhouse out of the Pac-12. The winner advances to take on Michigan in Kansas City. Hi, everyone. So excited to be with you once again. Spiro Dita, Steve Smith, Len Elmore. We'll hear from Rosgold on Wood in just a couple of minutes. Guys, here we go. The waiting is over. These two teams ready for a fight.
I'm totally ready, and I think you start off, if you're the Oregon Ducks, you got to move the basketball. Only 11 assists in the last game. You got to move this Rams defense around. And then for Rhode Island, you got to get yourself to the free throw line, pound the Ducks in the inside.
Well, points in the paint and transition points, that's Oregon's game. And if you're Rhode Island, you want to control tempo, and that means play 4-minute segments, or as Danny Hurley says, 4-minute wars.
All right, here are the starting lineups for both of these teams. Keep your eye on Peyton Pritchard, the freshman point man for the Ducks. You talk about a sterling NCAA tournament debut. The young man, 18 points on Friday here against Iona, was sensational, giving this team a boost.
When we talk about that point guard play, 2 freshmen, Spiro, for the Rams. Jeff Doughton had himself a fantastic game as well. 23 big points.
Only the 3rd all-time meeting between these two programs and a first since 1981. Oregon controls, dressed in white as we're underway here in Sacramento. This is Tyler Dorsey, not Ennis, the 6th-year senior. Ennis trying to fend off Matthews into the corner for Brooks. Wide open shot. That's the most open look he'll have tonight. And then a rebounding foul underneath against Rhode Island.
Dana Altman has to be happy. The basketball moved side to side, 4 or 5 plays, then got a wide open look from Dylan Brooks, and then they got on the offensive glass.
Tell you what, Danny Hurley has to be happy. Pressure and contain. You know, those are the shots they want Oregon to take. Oregon scored 48 points in the paint against Iona the other day. Rhode Island cannot afford that.
This is Brooks, quick release off the inbounds, and the rebound controlled underneath by Jared Terrell and Rhode Island. So here are the Rams, their 25th win of the season on Friday, beating Creighton. 9th straight win, as hot a team as there is in this field. Shot clock down to 10. This is Karan Iverson. A terrific night on Friday. A little bit off target with his first offering on a deep 3. This is Pritchard, little running floater. Trying to tip it home. Rebound taken by Bell. Shot clock does reset.
Great hands, Spiro.
Good reaction, man.
He almost saved that.
Hey, Len, he could do 2 things at once. He was talking and giving out stats and getting his hands on there. I love this, Spiro.
Just don't give him any chewing gum, man.
Got that hot tea in front of us. Have to be careful. So 20 seconds on the timer for Oregon. The team still playing without Chris Boucher. This is Terrell going airborne. And he gets the party started for Rhode Island.
Throughout this game, you're going to see the active hands of that Rhode Island half-court defense. They are going to make you grind it out.
Whistle blown with Ennis controlling on the perimeter. There is Terrell, the junior, Massachusetts native.
You can't have these type of turnovers. We call them home run turnovers, where you get a leak out for the Rams. If you're Oregon Ducks, you have to take care of the basketball. Good job by Terrell, being able to lay that up and finish.
Oregon foul charge to Dorsey, the sophomore who has been off the charts for Dana Altman and the Ducks. What a block underneath Bell, able to turn Doughton back, and then it's put back in by Langevine. So a quick substitution by Hurley. Langevine, who was quiet, the freshman out of East Orange, New Jersey, didn't do much on Friday. Big early play here. Nice distribution by Pritchard. Bell blows the layup. This is Brooks, Pac-12 Player of the Year. A lot in that kid's toolbox.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Dylan Brooks is one of those players that you can guard him, but you got to understand, he's a straight line driver. He has great size, great strength, and he can finish. Pac-12 Player of the Year.
This is Terrell on the 3. Another offensive rebound for Langevine. Wants to go right at Bell. Quick spin, what a play! Langevine, not looking like a freshman in the early couple of minutes.
Absolutely not. He is attacking right now in the game for Hassan Martin, and he's not letting up.
Traveling violation. So a shaky start here for the Ducks. Already 3 turnovers in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, you can see, you said it best, not looking like a freshman, going right into the chest of Jordan Bell. Langevin did a nice job. His game doesn't look like a freshman, nor does his body. He's 6'8", 225 from East Orange, New Jersey. He's put together.
So Hurley sitting Martin after that early whistle. And they have not skipped a beat.
It's important to watch Langevin. As Jordan Bell continues to go to block shots, Langevin does the right thing. Follows him to the front of the rim. But he's not being blocked out at all. Dylan Ennis not doing anything with him.
Shot clock down to 3. This is Doughton. The freshman point guard Iverson trying to beat the horn. Good look at it considering the circumstances. Here comes Ennis. So good on the open floor. Attacking the iron and able to draw contact. With 3 minutes, 20 seconds gone by, and Rhode Island in front by 4.
I think the Ducks have to do that, Lynn. I think they have to get out and push the basketball. You don't want to play against this half-court defense of the Rams. Basically 4 guards out there for the Ducks. And Dylan Ennis went right to the bucket.
Foul charge to Terrell, his first, second team foul against Rhode Island. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now, ncaa.com, March Madness, or download the app today.
Yeah, Oregon has to be overly opportunistic. Anytime they have a driving lane, get to the paint. No shot blocker in there for Rhode Island. And as I mentioned, against Iona, 48 points in the paint. They doubled Iona in paint points and 16 fast break points. So, you know, this is a team that likes to get up and down. And as you mentioned, Smitty, they have to do that so they don't have to set up against this Rhode Island defense.
Couple of free throws by Ennis. We saw Casey Benson, their junior, first guard off the bench, come in for Dorsey. So the sophomore sits, picked up that early whistle. Altman perhaps wanting to protect his second-year star. This is E.C. Matthews. Front rim, no. Rebound cleared by Bell, who has been a monster on the glass. Pritchard! Volleyball spike from the back by Matthews. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Rams. Tough break for URI. What a defensive play by Matthews.
Yes, you see Pritchard going up there. Nice move, but Matthews coming and collect that block shot. And he said, let me have that, Pritchard.
This is Brooks. A little bit short on the 3. So the Ducks are 1 of 7 at the start. 3 turnovers.
Rhode Island very happy for Dylan Brooks to stay outside, shoot the 3.
Matthews absorbing contact, unable to hit, going high off glass. And this is Ennis. Underneath to Brooks.
You talk about no Chris Boucher. Dana Altman said, I need Dylan Ennis to rebound the basketball. He has 7 in the last game. He's doing a nice job early in this game with 2 so far.
And you take a look at that full court pressure by Oregon, designed to try to speed Rhode Island up. They're not accustomed to playing fast tempo. They want them to take quick shots. When they grind it out, they'll find the best percentage.
Rams very patient. As Len mentioned, shot clock down to 3. This is Terrell, not even close. And then this will be last touch by Bell. So the shot clock will reset. And the Rams will have it when we come back.
Dylan Ennis pushing the basketball. He finds Brooks. We're all tied up in Sacramento.
Here in Sacramento, all tied at 6 as we say hello to Roz Gold on Wood A. Roz?
Thanks, Bureau. Oregon players watched the Rhode Island-Creighton game together as a team, and Jordan Bell told me they noticed right away that Rhode Island out-toughed Creighton, and they had more energy from jump. Then, as a team, they watched as sports analysts said no one on Oregon was tough besides Jordan and Dylan Brooks. And he said that got under their skin. They took it personal. At practice yesterday, Coach Dana Altman stressed the importance of toughness and physicality. And Jordan told me, we need to send a message. Hit them first. Show them we ain't no punks. People think West Coast kids are soft, but we're amped to play. Guys?
Now, Roz, this is an Oregon team that does not need any extra motivation. What a powerhouse that Dana Altman has built. 60-plus wins over the last couple of seasons. Off the steal, this is Ennis. Goes behind the back, swallowed up underneath Bell, the loose ball. The flick with his left hand. Bell, who was so good for them on Friday against Iona, unable to hit. And Oregon guys at the start, 2 of 10 from the field. Just a couple of days after they set a school record for most points in a tournament game, 93 in that win over Iona.
And they're just playing with a little bit of anxiety right now as Rhode Island has taken their game to them.
There's Jeff Doughton on the floater. And then Pritchard drawing the foul at the other end. Doughton was just unbelievable in their victory over Creighton on Friday. Career high 23 points in their win.
You know what I loved about him? Like, you're talking about those 23 points. He only shoots 57% from the line. He was 10 for 10. The freshman had a nice breakout game in his first out in the tournament.
Well, some of the headlines so far in this NCAA tournament. Boy, that Pac-12 still is perfect. 6-0. Ducks trying to keep it going. And those Blue Bloods still battling around the brackets.
I'll tell you what, for Oregon, you got to be concerned right now because, again, Rhode Island taking the game to them, but their leading scorer, 24 points against Iona, Tyler Dorsey, had to be taken out of the game, put back in the game. He hasn't done anything, hasn't really got a touch.
Hassan Martin, who's come back in for Danny Hurley, picked up that early whistle. There he is, 2-time reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the Atlantic 10, has his pocket picked by Benson. Ahead of the field is Pritchard. Offensive rebound, and Brooks is there to clean it up. He's got 6 of Oregon's 9 points. And despite all of Oregon's shooting struggles, they take their first lead.
Good job by Casey Benson. He has 2 steals and another turnover. He bothered that one as well. He's the guy that's replaced Dorsey. He's come in and have some positive impact plays for the Ducks.
Stan Robinson, the man who turned it over for the Rams. Oregon so far, 6 offensive rebounds. That has been the difference. Here comes Pritchard. Still plenty of time to shoot. It is from deep. A quick whistle blown by the officials. Danny Hurley apparently saw something from Ennis guys that he didn't appreciate. Called attention to the officials, and the official was all over it.
Well, Ennis knocked down the 3, and he got a chance to be Chapin. And also, Coach Hurley said, "You're not talking to me." And I think Dylan Ennis was just talking to the bench and just getting himself. But the referees came quickly and told him. And Ennis is one of those players. He's a high-character kid. He said, "My bad."
Again, Oregon persistent in that 1-2-2 pressure. Not only trying to get turnovers, but try to speed Rhode Island up as they now, the Oregon Ducks, have gained their rhythm offensively.
This is Iverson, the senior out of Hartford, Connecticut. Fires a 3, a little bit too much. Rhode Island just 1 field goal over the last 4+ minutes. Here comes Dorsey, the super sophomore, back onto the floor, and he's headed to the free throw line. This kid has been unstoppable.
Well,
over the last couple of weeks.
They replaced him with Casey Benson, put him on the bench, let him gain some perspective because in the first few minutes wasn't really in the ball game. I guess he's in it now.
Yeah, totally right. He has 4 straight games of 20 or plus. He was fantastic in the Pac-12 tournament. In that stretch, he's averaging 22.8 points, 60% from the field, 48 from 3.
First time he's done that in his career, 4 straight of 20+. Best basketball of his budding career. Leaves a point at the free throw line, however. So Rhode Island with possession, down 6 as we move just past the 13-minute mark of this first half in Sacramento. Robinson. Nice under control move. Got Dorsey to leave his feet.
In the paint. Good job by the Rams of getting a chance to break down that defense and loosen it up. This is a fabulous ball game.
Just feel the urgency for both of these teams. Dorsey rises. That's good.
At one point when Dorsey wasn't in the game, taken out because he wasn't involved in the flow, I said Oregon had to be concerned. The concern is over right now.
You know, he got one of those 3-point shots, Lynn, we call squishing a bug, where you got a chance to step into him. You can't let him have it. Those are wide open, easy threes for shooters.
Nicola Kelly has come on for the Rams. Shot clock at 7. This is Doughton. Finds his spot. Tough shot moving to his right. And Oregon continues to clean the glass.
It's amazing how excellent offense puts a pep in your step on the defensive end.
And Oregon now starting to get the shots that they want. More free throws coming up. 15-4 run for the Ducks on TBS.
Adam Zucker in New York with this tournament update. It's close early in the second half on TNT after trailing by 17. Arkansas getting turnovers. They've made it a one-possession game on a 7-0 run. Moses Kingsley slamming it down. They're within 2 of the Tar Heels. And it's a final elsewhere in the Midwest region. Kansas pulling away down the stretch. Josh Jackson, one of many exclamation points. They'll face Purdue on Thursday. He had 23. Back to Spiro, Len, and Steve.
Sorry, Smitty.
Yeah, I quit.
Our resident Spartan. As you see the brackets there, Kansas and Purdue. What a matchup that'll be in a 1-4. As the brackets continue to take shape around the country. Guys, what have you seen the last couple of minutes?
Well, I'll tell you what, since the 15-15 mark when Tyler Dorsey came back in the ball game, he was scoreless, wasn't involved in the offense. But now 5 points in a 9-2 run, and you can recognize how important that young man is. He's, as Smitty has said before, the hottest player for Oregon over the last several games.
And what I see, Spiro, is this Oregon Ducks small lineup, basically 4 guards, are out-rebounding the Rams, and that's the reason why they're getting a chance to get out on the break.
Underneath, this is Langevin forcing his way, and a chance at a 3-point play with 11 and change left before halftime.
Langevin did a nice job. Watch this power dribble. Put it on a deck. The young freshman gets the shoulder right into Cavell. He has 6 big ones. That's 8 points off the bench for Rhode Island. They only had 4 in the game yet, or the last game they had.
Let's check in with Rouse.
In that Rhode Island huddle, it was assistant coach David Cox who tried to amp the team up. He said, "You guys look shook. You look shook out there. We're better than this." And then the team came together. They rallied. They clapped. And I saw E.C. Matthews tell the team, "We've got this." He also went over to rookie freshman point guard Jeff Doughton and gave him a pat on the back.
All right, Raz, what a start lead time for Langevin. Had to come in early after Martin picked up that early personal. Anytime the officials changed that last Oregon foul, they take it away from Bell and gave it to Cavell Bigby Williams his first. This is Benson with 14 to shoot. Bell against Langevin.
Langevin not giving up any space at all. Freshman doing a nice job.
He has been Rhode Island's best player to this point. As we come up on the midway mark of this first half. Long look at the 3. Off target from Jarvis Garrett. And back comes Ennis. Rhode Island 0 of 7 from deep so far. This is Bigby Williams. Just kind of flicks it up to the glass. And he'll step to the free throw line.
Len, talk to me about this play from Bigby. A little luck. He's a lefty, but he got it up.
Well, first of all, outstanding pass from Ennis. I don't think anybody's ready for that, including Bigby Williams. But that upper body strength, he looks lean and maybe not strong, but his length and his strength pulled him through on that one.
Bigby Williams, the junior, last season the National JUCO Player of the Year at Gillette College in Wyoming. Last 2 years there, suddenly thrust now into a huge role with the ACL injury ending Chris Boucher's season and Oregon career. Devastating loss for this Ducks team. How does Rhode Island respond here? Suddenly having all kinds of offensive issues. They turn it over down 8.
Well, I think for them, if you look at the Ducks, they're going to stay in this 2-3 zone because the reason why, look at the 3-point shot, 0 of 7 for the Rams. They got to find somebody to loosen it up.
Kelly the steal. This is good. And he is devoured by Bell. Double dribble on Dorsey.
Watch.
Let me tell you this, Spiro. Len Elmore loves this. Keep it in play. Len, I see you smiling over there. Jordan Bell kept it in play.
Well, keep it in play, trailing the play all the way. Didn't let up on it. And oftentimes you see teams in a breakaway situation like that, you see them concede the layup. Not Bell.
One of the great shot blockers in the sport. Right at the top of the record books for this Oregon program. Jordan Bell, the junior out of Long Beach, California. So versatile. 10 to shoot. Matthews. To Rhode. Finds his spot and rattles it home for the Rams.
You got to like the poise of Rhode Island, though. That block shot could have been a demoralizer, but instead they got the ball back and they worked their magic, grinding it out. Now it's on the defensive end where they need to step up.
Foul charge to Garrett. And now the Ducks in the bonus, so 1-1 here for Peyton Pritchard, the freshman out of West Lynn, Oregon.
And that is huge. You're talking about 9 minutes and 24 seconds left, and they're already in the bonus.
Pritchard, a 71% free throw shooter. And Oregon's lead now at 7. A Rolling Stone calls Samantha Bee the best thing to happen in late night TV. Watch Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. All new Wednesdays, 10:30 on TBS. In downtown Sacramento, California, first of 2 tonight with 2 tickets to the Sweet 16 waiting to be punched. Winner of this one advances to take on Michigan on Thursday in Kansas City. About the Wolverines continuing their dream run under John Beilein. Dangerous pass into the hands of Garrett. 10 to shoot. Matthews, a little forearm check from Brooks. You know, Brooks is a kid from Canada. They have watched that move watching hockey all those years. This little physicality on the perimeter, that's his first.
You watched him. Good move by Matthews, because the closeout by Brooks, he was coming so hard. Couldn't gather himself for that jab step and drive to the baseline.
And that's only the 3rd team foul for Oregon. Rhode Island's got to be a little more aggressive right now. Try to draw some more fouls so he can come even as far as team fouls are concerned.
Island needs something from Matthews. Here he is firing. That's a 3-pointer right on cue. E.C. Matthews, first made 3 for the Rams tonight.
Way to see the game, Spiro. You're totally right on cue. He needed to knock that one down. That 3-pointer have guys coming out, running at him, and then he'll be off balance where you can get into the lane on that side.
Matthews, their leading scorer, just under 15 per game. There's a corner 3 from Pritchard, won't go the tip. And then a second tip by Brooks. And now a technical foul charged to Brooks. At first glance appeared to be a taunting situation.
And that's a result of Ennis first having a little talking to their bench, and then you see Dylan Brooks. But first of all, fantastic by Brooks getting on the glass. And you can see.
But there was no block out, though. Nobody put a body on him. And I guess when he ran back, he wasn't singing "Oh Canada," was he?
So that now becomes his second personal with the tech. And it is E.C. Matthews at the free throw line. He'll get 2 shots here and then possession for the Rams. So that's a big call as Brooks picks up his second personal.
Huge. And when you talk about Rhode Island, you guys spoke of the 3-point shot E.C. Matthews made. But this is a team that doesn't win necessarily with the 3. I mean, against Creighton, they shot 4 of 21 and still, had a relatively easy ball game. They're a team that's going to beat you inside the arc. Shooting beyond the arc is something to keep the defenses honest.
So guys, this is a Rhode Island team that is so confident, as hot as any team in this tournament. 9 straight wins. And you go back 4+ games to the final minutes of their regular season finale. They had trailed for a grand total of 43 seconds during that stretch. It's an incredible run as they were able to fight their way into the tournament, winning that Atlantic 10 championship.
They've been on the run. They've gotten healthy this season. In the last year and a half, they weren't a healthy ball club, and now some confidence with guys coming back. E.C. Matthews, now they're able to play at a high level.
This is Ennis, little step back, and the rebound pulled by Matthews. All that said, this is the toughest test that Rhode Island has had all season, without a doubt. Matthews
got himself into trouble on that drive, gave it up too late.
Dorsey fouled on a 3. It's on Doughton. 3 free throws coming up for Tyler Dorsey. 5-point game on TBS. Their game summary at the 7:28 mark. of this opening half, Rhode Island and Oregon. And one of the critical headlines, at least till this point, Hassan Martin, the reigning two-time Defensive Player of the Year for the Rams in the Atlantic 10. Early foul trouble, picked up his second at the 13-minute mark. He's barely played, guys, in his first half.
Well, I would say that the thing that Rhode Island lacks with his presence, not on the floor, but being on the bench, is experience in getting around and working around the paint. From a numbers standpoint, Langevin has done a terrific job. 3 for 3 from the field, 7 points, 4 rebounds, so he's picked up the slack. But it's that experience. Oregon's got 7 offensive rebounds, even though Rhode Island leads with points in the paint.
You're totally right, Len. You're talking about Martin as a guy that gives you 14 points, 7 rebounds, only one of 6 players in school history to reach those marks, including Lamar Odom. They are missing him, but Langevin is doing a nice job, the freshman, picking up where he's left off with that foul trouble.
Odom, by the way, in attendance once again here in Sacramento, rooting on his alma mater, hoping to see them through to the Sweet 16. With a feed underneath, extra recognition. Boy, where would the Rams be without Langevin in this first half?
I do not know. And there's Lamar Odom, the former Rhode Island Ram, fantastic player at the college level, even better at the pro level. And he's getting a chance to watch his Rams just battle and battle. It's still down 6, but they're hanging in there.
Odom, a freshman on that 1998 team that went all the way to the Elite 8. This is Bell, little reverse spin. Masterful.
See, on the other end, it's not Langevin's points because, he can get the job done on that end. The experience on the other end, how to guard in the post, that's where they miss Hassan Martin.
And Jordan Bell, just incredible in their victory over Iona as a whistle blown here on the drive.
And even though that was Jordan Bell's first bucket, he's only got 2 points in this game. Just overall playing the post, going to penetration, doing some of the things that an experienced center will do is what Rhode Island lacks with Martin on the bench.
Let's get more on Bell now with Rise.
Well, Jordan Bell had an eye-opening experience when he went to LeBron camp this summer. He said LeBron told the guys Tristan Thompson became a star in his role, and Jordan thought, I got to do that. He said, I know where I am as a basketball player, and I have to be the best role player I can be to succeed. The other guys wanted to be LeBron, but I wanted to be Tristan Thompson. He doesn't have his own shoe, but he starts on a great team.
I love that, Rob.
Yo, and he got paid.
I was just going to say, he's got a pretty good paycheck. Excellent experience and invaluable experience for Jordan Bell, who has got some kind of a future in front of him.
Well, you like a guy that wants to do the dirty work. I mean, he talks about Tristan Thompson. He was one of the premier offensive rebounders, and those are the most difficult rebounds to get. When I look at a great rebounder, I don't want to know how many defensive rebounds he's got. I want to know what kind of offensive rebounder he is.
He was a pretty good offensive rebounder, I think, right?
Yeah, more than that, he was elite. He was a little nasty, man, Elmore down there in the box.
He has to be down for that. Been watching this black and white film.
From up on the 6-minute mark, here comes Robinson with a running floater, and here comes Rhode Island. 4 points for Robinson, the junior out of Landover, Maryland. Spent his first 2 years at Indiana. What an addition he's been to Danny Hurley's program.
Good hands.
Terrell the steal. Robinson.
And you talk about turnovers for the Ducks. Those home run turnovers. Terrell again getting his hands on the basketball. Kicks it out. Robinson with the slam.
Some of the sights just outside downtown Sacramento. 3-point Oregon lead, but the Rams guys putting together this little 5-0 spurt. And you see the winning streak that we mentioned. They not only have won the 9 straight, they have been dominant over these last couple of weeks.
And you look at bench points, 15-3 Rhode Island. Stanford Robinson, Langevin doing a nice job. Those two, 15 for the Rams. And Danny Hurley coming off the bench.
I mean, what's happened to Oregon's offense the last couple of minutes?
Well, again, they've kind of slowed down their attack. Rhode Island's done that to them by getting up and pressuring the ball. Remember I said earlier, their goal is pressure and contain. They get up on you, make you pick up your dribble, and they're all over you.
Dorsey shot clock at 5. This kid showing the entire repertoire the last couple of weeks. He's got a double-digit first-half scoring effort tonight, 10 points.
And that's how you get rid of that pressure contained, put the ball on the floor, and you take it someplace.
And he's saying, don't just call me a shooter. I can get to the bucket, get to that free throw line, and challenge the bigs inside the paint.
Matthews, brilliant footwork.
That was a beautiful move. A chance to make the defense overreact. Nice little spin move, under control. And he laid that one up.
Benson. They'll count the field goal. That is a goaltend. Took it off the glass. As Benson gets right to the rack and extends the lead back to 5.
Take a look at the drive. Absolutely ball on the glass. Had a chance to go in and was touched. But that's twice now. 2 times in a row and several times in the last several possessions that Oregon's been able to put it on the floor and get to the basket prior to us saying that their offense had bogged down. They're starting to recognize you stand out there, you hold it, you're going to get pressured. But if you put it on the floor with some direction, you can beat that defense.
Again, keep in mind, Hassan Martin, Rhode Island's best defender in the A-10 the last 2 years, in fact, has been on the bench since the 13-minute mark of this half. And he picked up his second. Iverson. Kick out to Garrett. Iverson from deep. Got it.
Good job by Iverson. Breaking down the defense, skip pass, and then the ball worked itself all the way back around to Iverson. He knocked down 3 threes in his last outing.
Benson, little floater, gets the friendly bounce. And they are taking advantage of that open lane with Martin on the bench.
Points in the paint. That's what they thrive on, and that makes it easier for their perimeter shooters after a while. It bears repeating. 48 points in the paint against Iona the other day, and they're right on that mark now.
Guys, we expected an intense game. That's exactly what we've gotten to this point. These 2 gifted teams going back and forth. Robinson, a majestic lob.
If I didn't know how hard it was to do what they were doing, I'd say it looks too easy.
That was a beautiful finger roll by Robinson. Giant killer, and he knocked it right down and floated right in.
8 points for Robinson. Offensive foul on Ennis.
Stanford Robinson, he finds a lane as Rhode Island has found a formula.
One day after we saw the #1 overall seed in Villanova go down, North Carolina now suddenly on the ropes.
Hey, you tell us top seeds. Nobody said it was going to be easy, and the parity is just unbelievable. But we know it's all about matchups. It's really what it comes down to. Some teams do some things better than the higher seeds do. And when they match up, it's competitive.
You can gain that confidence, that lightning in the body.
Robinson putting together some kind of a half off the bench for Danny Hurley. And Rhode Island has taken the lead.
And led by Langevin and Stanford Robinson, Rhode Island's bench has outscored Oregon's 20-7. So they've been able to get a boost despite the foul trouble of Hassan Martin.
11 points for Robinson. Averages 6. He is rolling.
He was an afterthought on Friday against Creighton. Had just 2 points. Brooks. Bottled up by Anderson. Can't play defense much better than that.
He did a nice job. Stayed down on the pump fakes. And made him take a contested 2. And you talk about Terrell. He didn't call glass on that one. Not at all, but it went in.
And that's not Rhode Island's game per se. But that's flowing confidence right there to pull up and knock that shot down with nobody on the glass.
It's a 17-6 Rhode Island run. Here comes Brooks, left it short, and Big B. Williams is there to put it back. 5 points for the junior, born in London. You see the Rams on this torrid offensive streak. They have hit 8 straight shots at this end. Robinson keeps it going.
This is not Rhode Island's offensive tempo, but boy, they enjoying it.
And Robinson is having a first half for the Rams. Only 2 points, like you said in the last outing. 13 points, 6 for 6, 1 for 1 from the three-point line. What a half so far for Robinson.
Peyton Pritchard, meantime, the turnover at the other end. As Oregon now a little bit shaky. 9 first-half turnovers by the Ducks. There's Dana Allman pacing the sideline, the 58-year-old Nebraska native. Pac-12 Coach of the Year 3 of the last 4 years. And Danny Hurley trying to fight to get his Rams back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since '98.
You take Danny Hurley right now. He's taking out Dalton. He doesn't have Garrett. And there's Robinson. He's feeling it.
That's what you call the old heat check.
Heat check.
This is Ennis. Nice strip by Robinson on his way up cleanly. It's loose. Matthews takes flight, and he's headed to the free throw line.
Momentum, and Matthews. That was beautiful. Getting out in transition. Len, do you see the lefty being able to put it high off the glass?
Yeah, Rhode Island, we've said it before, they're an opportunistic bunch. The problem with that, from an Oregon standpoint, is they're giving them far too many opportunities.
Oh, what a long road back it's been for this kid Matthews. The devastating ACL tear early in the regular season last year, and it really took him this entire season to get back. We talked to their basketball SID, Mike LePray, and talked about their regular season finale against Davidson. Senior night, they were down 9 in overtime. And that is really when Matthews started to resemble his old self. Had a big dunk, scored 8 of their 11 in the extra session. They all kind of looked at each other and said, all right, EC's back. The star that he was for them his first couple of years.
He's so talented. Has great size and ability to create his own shot.
Co-rookie of the year in the A-10 as a freshman, and then 17 points per game as a sophomore before that knee injury last season. Final 40 seconds before halftime. This is Bell with Langevin on his back. A hesitation maneuver, and that got the defense on its heels, and Bell to the free throw line with Oregon down 6.
And for all the positive stuff we said about Langevin, it bears repeating that lack of experience down low in the one-on-one situations. He's a freshman, Martin's a senior. They missed that. But right now, I think Danny Hurley will take this score.
Yeah, he'll take the 9 points. He'll work on his experience later. Lynn, he said, I need the young fella.
Danny Hurley takes a timeout here. Up 6, 33.9 left first half. Coming up, we will send you to AT&T at the half. Get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. AT&T at the half coming up next. Now, if you have just joined us, what a run this has been for Rhode Island. 12-2 spurt. They have hit 10 of their last 12 shots, and they have done it with their best defensive player, Hassan Martin, having played only 3 minutes in this entire first half. Has been on the bench with 2 personals since the 13-minute mark of the half.
You know, I know individually he's upset, man. You saw the look on his face. Man, you got to give a little smile. Your Rams are in a 6-point lead without you. He's thinking and thinking. He's been sitting over there for a long time.
Well, you're hoping that he's thinking about, being able to stay up to the standard that's been set in this half when he gets back on the floor in the second half, and not worry about, woe is me, I'm not playing this first half.
So Bell comes up empty on that trip. And Rhode Island can build on its lead with about 3 seconds between shot and game clock.
And Oregon out of the 2-3 zone playing man-to-man. I see EC Matthews go to work off this pick and roll. Nice trap.
7 to shoot. Iverson. Terrell on a long 2. That's good. They can't miss. This is Bell, counts if it goes, as we reach halftime here in Sacramento. Rhode Island closes the half, having hit 11 of its final 13 shots. It's a 14-2 run, and they take an 8-point lead into the halftime locker room. We check in with Roz.
Coach, you have Hassan Martin sitting out with foul trouble, but how about the effort of your bench players, Langevin and Sanford?
I think, we're obviously showing our depth and that the fact that we're a real team and we got a lot of different pieces.
Oregon played in a zone defensively for a lot of that. What do you want to see against it?
Well, I think we got a little too jump shot happy early on. We want to attack gaps, put pressure on the rim, and really only shoot kick-out threes.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
All right, a reminder, you can check over to TNT for the finale between Arkansas and North Carolina. We will break. AT&T at the half is coming up next. Rhode Island by 8 at halftime. Back with you from downtown Sacramento, just about ready for the second half between Rhode Island and Oregon. Which of these two teams will advance to the Sweet 16? Spiro Ditas, Steve Smith, Len Elmore. We'll hear from Roz in just a couple of minutes. It took Rhode Island a little bit to get comfortable, but once they did, there's nothing Oregon could do in that first half.
You're totally right. The depth of this Rams offensive team and their entire team bench scoring 22-9 advantage Rams, led by this freshman, Cyril Langevin. He did a nice job in the paint early. And then Stanford Robinson, he came alive, 13 points. He was 6 of 7. He had a 3. Combined, those two have all of the 22 points off the bench, and they were big time. Also added 7 rebounds.
Take a look at the Buick first half stats. Len, what do you see?
Well, you look at the score, 8-point lead for Rhode Island, but it really comes down to 10 turnovers by Oregon, 16 Rhode Island points off those turnovers. Dana Altman identified the opportunistic nature of the Rhode Island Rams, but never in his wildest dreams did he think that his team would hand them those many opportunities.
Well, plenty to talk about for Dana Altman and his group. Let's get more on that now with Rise.
Well, Len, Dana Altman would agree with you. He told me the turnovers were awful. It's just bad basketball. In part, we made bad decisions, but also their activity, length, and aggressiveness bothered us. He said, we got to get the ball movement, and we've got to get some stops. They scored on our man and our zone, and it gave them rhythm. That rhythm fed into their defense. He said it was the last 12 possessions of that half that were crucial.
Well, they will be on the defensive to start as Rhode Island picks up where they left off. Karan Iverson with a corner 3.
He's a 28% three-point shooter, but yet somehow in this tournament he has found the range.
Had 3 threes the other night, so it's a 20-4 run over the last 4 minutes and 40 seconds going back to the first half. Dorsey steps into a 3. Heady play by Brooks to bat it out and get the Ducks a fresh 30.
Good job by Brooks, like you said. Didn't gather the offensive rebound, but slapped it out to his teammate.
Ennis turns the corner, sets the table for Bell. Pretty reverse, and Oregon with a much-needed bucket.
You saw the experience by Ennis. Came off the pick and roll, got into the lane, but that little hesitation froze everybody. And he got Bell an easy layup.
And speaking of experience, Hassan Martin didn't want any part of that. Recognized, okay, I'll give up a bucket to avoid getting my third foul.
Martin played only 3 minutes in the first half. If you've just joined us, picked up his second personal at the 13-minute mark, and we didn't see him for the rest of the way. This is Matthews, most outstanding player in the A-10 tournament. In and out.
We should get a half point for that one. That one went in, went out, went in, and lipped out.
Oregon 30-5, the at-large out of the Pac-12. Co-regular season champions with Arizona, the team that beat them in the conference championship game. Shot clock down to 9. This is Dorsey, who's had the hot hand. Now to Brooks, player of the year in the conference. Everything but the finish. Brooks has kind of been quiet tonight, just 4 of 10 shooting.
And those 2 fouls, the one being a technical way. Also picked up a personal foul that slowed him down. His aggressiveness, got to the rim, thought the shot block was there, changed it and couldn't finish. But also give Iverson a lot of credit. He's done a nice job with his length versus Brooks.
Left-handed delivery by Martin. Left it short, just trying to get some blood flowing after being on the bench for so long. That was his first shot. Crowd wanted to travel against Brooks.
And the thing we talked about in the first half, pressure and contain. For the most part, that's what Rhode Island's been able to do. That time, obviously, Peyton Pritchard forced the issue. And this is what, again, Oregon needs to be able to be more aggressive to the hole.
First field goal of the night for Pritchard, who had 18 points on Friday against Iona.
Back to this 1-2-2 type of zone matchup on the wings.
Matthews against Pritchard. Wants to take the freshman, lost the handle, and Brooks snatches it. And then a shot clock violation. Brooks screaming at the officials, asking why play was stopped as they will bring it the length of the floor.
That's one of those tight, low crossovers. What I loved about it, he kept it in tight between his shoulders and going forward with his crossover, not side to side, and got straight to the bucket.
And that time, Rhode Island pressured, but they didn't contain.
You can't question this Oregon team's toughness. Still reeling a bit after the loss of Chris Boucher, but they have just been so good over the last couple of years. That'll be a traveling violation against Pritchard. And turnovers have been an issue in this game for the Ducks. That's their 11th tonight.
But at least it wasn't a live ball turnover. That's what Rhode Island had been thriving on.
We saw Boucher on the bench. A devastating ACL tear in the semis of the Pac-12 championships. As unique a skill set as there is in college basketball. Certainly changing the complexion of this Oregon team. Doughton from deep, wide open.
That is going to help his confidence. 23 points in the last outing, knocked that one down. He needed that one to go down.
Doughton played the game of his life in their win over Creighton the other night. 23 points. Massive shot here as we'll get a timeout. Rhode Island by 10. Which of these teams will punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 on TBS? Spiro Ditas, Len Elmore, Steve Smith, Raj Gold on Wood A, our producer Tom Heights, Lonnie Dale, our director, rest of our TBS crew here in Northern California. High octane game so far. That is Dylan Brooks going right through the defense. He's got 10. Second Duck in double digits.
Sorry about that, Spiro. I love the way straight line driver. It's two bounces. He gets his shoulder around you, and he is strong at attacking the rim and finishing with force.
Matthews probes the defense. Shot clock down to 6. Doughton. The freshman's going to pull. Well played by Brooks, and it's cleared underneath by Bell.
That's a good defensive possession by Oregon. Didn't allow any driving gaps and covered the shooters. That's what they need to do. Got to string a few of those together.
5 minutes gone by second half. Dorsey trying to fend off the defense by Doughton, and this was one of the best defending perimeter players in the Atlantic 10. We talked the other night, guys, about just how good Doughton was at this end of the floor. Shut down some of the best shooting guards in the A10, including Jack Gibbs and Davidson late in that conference tournament.
Well, he's built well. He's got long arms. You know, he's got quick feet and the determination, which is the main characteristic of an outstanding defensive player.
And he has to sit after he picks up his third personal. This is Pritchard from deep. Offensive rebound, Brooks, and he is fouled. Boy, if that's on Martin, that's his fourth. Make it his third, I beg your pardon.
And guys, I think that the foul trouble Martin experienced in the first half has made him passive here in the second half. That ball's up in the air, and he's flat-footed.
And you watch it trying to box out Jordan Bell. And here comes Brooks. And he stuck his hand in there.
Boy, Robinson the steal. Langevin kind of muffed it, and Rhode Island turns it over.
The whole team right now seems a little tentative. You know, Martin was exemplary of that tentativeness and passivity. And Danny Hurley recognizing that, he's telling them to get up and play defense to pressure. If you can pressure on defense, that kind of increases your energy.
Fisher's now trying to get on top of the physical play after Martin just picked up his third. This is against Matthews, and that will be his second. And already, guys, 14 fouls against Rhode Island, none against Oregon.
Oregon wants to get right back into the bonus early. They did in the first half.
They got to recognize, though, there's a fine line between being aggressive and overly physical that's going to get you in trouble.
This is Pritchard, drive and kick, and his corner three. Fight for it underneath, out to the perimeter, and this one will be against Pritchard and Oregon.
I love Matthews and Pritchard, both guys going for that loose ball rebound. And Matthews pulls that one away, and that's the third foul on Pritchard. Watch it here. This is a loose rebound, And both guys going after it. And you can see Pritchard got his hands all
it's
over
actually
Matthews.
Steve, it's on Brooks.
It's on Brooks.
And that is his third personal.
Ooh,
so Pritchard sits nonetheless, but a monstrous call at the other end of the floor as Dylan Brooks is called for his third foul.
I put my glasses on. I thought that was Pritchard. The referees are.
Well, now the officials appears as though maybe going to the monitor here. Well, this is one of the triggers. They could go to the monitor to determine who was the person who committed the foul. And from that vantage point, it certainly looked to be Pritchard. We'll see if they change it here.
Yeah, Pritchard looked like he got all ball. It was Brooks with his left hand who pulled the arm back.
I thought the timing of the foul, they didn't call the first one on Brooks. I thought they got Pritchard, but if you're a Duck fan, they called that one on Brooks.
So the call is upheld. It is against Brooks. That is his third personal. Critical call here. With still 14 minutes left. Robinson showing the handle. He has been magnificent tonight.
He's talking about, look at the sideline of the Rams. Robinson being able to spin and go through his legs. And that was Dorsey drawing another foul. Robinson has that confidence going on right now. Great handle, tight. Defender falls down through the legs and a spin. And a lefty knocks that one down.
Stanford Robinson tonight, 15 points, 7 of 8 shooting. He led Rhode Island in scoring just once this season. It was off the bench at George Mason, middle of February. Scored 21 points in that game, but having the game of his life, certainly considering what's at stake.
Yeah, and as Danny Hurley said, it just shows the level of their depth. To have a guy come off the bench and start to dominate like that on the offensive end, despite foul trouble for one of their mainstays, Hassan Martin. Both Robinson and Lanzavine have really made up for the lack of Martin's presence.
Robinson, he just keeps coming. It's an 11-point Rhode Island lead.
Here's the Ducks. You got to execute on offense on this play. Beautiful back door. Nice pass by Jordan Bell to Dorsey. Beautiful play.
The sophomore from Los Angeles, 13 points. Rams nearly turned it over. 2-on-1 run out. Matthews. And Jordan Bell once again didn't get the block, but he was there to bother the shot just enough. Here comes Dorsey again. Contact here before the attempt at the end of the play. Now Dorsey and Robinson have to be separated.
If you're going to signify, do it with your play, not with your mouth. Especially when you're down, but take a look. Dorsey aggressive to the basket. Come on, fellas, play the game.
Both of them, they didn't say too much, Lynn. They were just being aggressive. You like that. You were aggressive.
Yeah, but like I said, I let my play do the talking, especially when I was down.
I like that both guys, they didn't get up in each other's face. Just a little bumping. It's intense.
That was the 6th team foul against Rhode Island, just 1 against the Ducks. But we got still 13:07 left.
But see, the problem with stuff like that, it makes the referees tighten the game up.
Here comes Dorsey. Beautiful back door. That's the cutter Keith Smith, the freshman out of Seattle who's just checked in. And this kid can play. Worlds of talent. Very quickly putting his imprint on the game. He'll shoot 2.
I like Tyler Dorsey coming off extremely hard off this little handoff, collapsed the defense, and like you said, being able to kick it down to the Duck player. And I thought that was all ball, man.
See, that's the result of those two cats getting into it. They're trying to tighten this game up.
Foul charge to Kelly, the sophomore out of Italy, is his second. Watching the big dance calls for big refreshments, so grab a delicious ice-cold Coca-Cola and enjoy the game. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. Keith Smith out of Rainier High School in Seattle. Cuts the Oregon deficit to 7.
I'm going to say, Smitty, don't get me wrong. I was known to have a few choice words now and then.
I know.
Choice words.
Here's Robinson, the junior, Maryland native, trying to find his opening. Hesitation maneuver, they just can't stay in front of him.
Not at all. And you look at Robinson, Stanford is 9 for 10. 19 points off the bench. What a game so far for him.
This is a kid that averaged 6 points a game through the season.
Here comes Benson, the kick out to Ennis. One dribble to set himself up, a little bit short. Offensive rebound, Dorsey, and he's fouled.
Watch Stanford Robinson. Just a little hesitation, getting a chance to lay that up. And then on this side, Tyler Dorsey, 6'4" sophomore, getting in there, banging. And he finishes. Chance for an and one.
Notice where he was. Weak side corner of that glass. You want to be an excellent offensive rebounder, you got to command that real estate. And remember in the first half, I talked about the fact that Tyler Dorsey wasn't involved in the ball game and Oregon kind of struggled offensively. My man is back.
16 points for the sophomore out of Marantha High School in Los Angeles. Six-point Rhode Island lead with just under 8 minutes gone by. The winner of this one advances to take on Michigan in the Sweet 16 in Kansas City. Kelly the turnover. Robinson nearly ripped it back. Here comes Benson. But Robinson all over the place, jarred that loose. It'll be Oregon basketball with 22 to shoot when we come back. Who wants it more? Rhode Island and Oregon battling on TBS. SC continuing that run of teams from the first four, advancing through the first weekend, or trying to.
As we know well, though, they got the firepower to come back quickly in the boat riding company.
Saw them up close and personal in Dayton on Wednesday night. There's the basketball given here to Rhode Island. You see the bench scoring. It has been so huge tonight. If you just joined us, all Rhode Island, led by Stan Robinson, the junior, Maryland native, who has been off the charts. So many strange elements to this game. Rhode Island has had to play most of the night without its best defender. Hassan Martin has been in foul trouble. Outside to Terrell. Rare miss from the outside for the Rams. They've been so hot. And look at Langevin getting his hands dirty.
That's great hustle by the Rams on the offensive glass. Good defensive possession for the Ducks. Just couldn't finish it with a defensive rebound.
Robinson drawing contact. It's on Smith. And this kid Robinson has been carving him up all night.
He has. Spiro, watch this. Nice little spin. Jump shot. He's 9 for 10. Going straight to the bucket lefty. All type of confidence, hesitation. And I'm talking about 19 points, and he just drew another foul. He is in a groove.
Well, that's the beauty of this tournament, man. You can get guys who can come from nowhere. He just averaged 6 points a game. But you look at his numbers, and you realize that tonight a star is born.
Iverson. And a rebounding foul against the Ducks. And once again, players have to be separated. You can feel the tension between these two teams every time up and down the floor. This will be against Casey Benson. That will be his third personal. And the third against the Ducks.
Watch it going up. Contest. And some grabs. And after the play.
So critical for these two teams to try to keep their composure, considering everything at stake. Matthews from deep. Another offensive rebound. It's Iverson. And Iverson doing it at both ends of the floor.
Is he the answer tonight or what?
He's doing a nice job of using his size versus Brooks. That's a nice block shot without fouling.
Iverson, the transfer, first 2 years at Memphis. Let's get more on him now with Roz.
Karan Iverson told me when they were losing, nobody thought they had a chance to make it here to this tournament. He said the team was distant. They were in their own cliques and groups. Now, in this 9-game win streak, it's a big change. Everyone's hanging out together more, watching movies, eating together. Their confidence has skyrocketed. He said once we started hanging out, it's been a dramatic change.
Nothing Iverson could do, Roz, on that sequence. Dorsey's got 19 points. Huge three. That's Matthews going right at Big B Williams. And free throws coming up for the junior out of Michigan.
Now watch Big Wee Williams when he goes up. All he has to do is get his both arms up and go up in the air and wall off, and whether there's contact made or not, he's not going to create the foul. But instead, watch his arms come down. He was in good shape until his arms came down. That's the new rule. The secondary defender can do that even though they're in a restricted area.
All's your bracket already busted? Enter Infinity's round-by-round bracket, where each correct pick nets a donation to Coaches versus Cancer. So critical juncture here. You saw Hassan Martin come back in, the senior out of Staten Island. Has barely been on the floor in this game. Saddled with foul trouble right from the start. And Dana Altman waiting for that moment, coming right back in with Jordan Bell.
Yeah, and you watch the Ducks. They've done a nice job on the defensive possessions. They just can't come up with the defensive rebound. And I think right now, if you're the Oregon Ducks, Tyler Dorsey has been your guy. He's 6 for 7, 19 points.
Dorsey trying to split the defenders. Muffed it. Brooks coming back. Last touch by Brooks. And boy, that's a bit of a gamble considering that he's playing with 3 personals. Meantime, Tyler Dorsey is still on his backside.
He's cramping right now. You can see him looking to stretch. But his problem was trying to split the defense. That's taking too much of a risk. And Dylan Brooks, all-out hustle.
Right all over. Referees give Brooks a lot of credit for hustling. That could have been easy too.
Fantastic veteran officiating crew here. Kip Kissinger, Terry Oglesby, and Bill Covington.
And again, keep an eye on Tyler Dorsey. He keeps reaching down at that toe, trying to stretch the calf.
Dorsey the steal and no one back.
I told you keep an eye on him, but maybe not for that reason.
4-point game. And for Tyler Dorsey, the sophomore sensation, his 5th straight game of at least 20 points.
And the Ducks are just hanging in there. They've been down, but they are competing. And watch Dorsey anticipate this one. And nice job by him. 21 points on 7 for 8 shooting.
Oregon doesn't want its season to end. It's an incredible season that they've had. 30 wins for a 2nd straight year. Getting all they can handle from Rhode Island. Matthews left it short. Kept alive by Garrett. And that shot clock resets for Rhode Island.
This second half has been about offensive rebounds for the Rams.
It's a 12-5 Ducks run. How do the Rams respond? Terrell from deep. That's good. He's the alpha dog of this Rhode Island team. Massive shot. Brooks outside for Ennis. Into the paint. Back to Brooks. Off the front of the rim. Brooks trying to tie him up, and he does. What effort by Brooks. Possession arrow favors Oregon.
He's been short-laying on a lot of his shots, but he does not quit. He stays after the play.
Absolute hustle. He didn't settle for the jump shot in the corner. Instead, drove to the paint, trying to draw the foul. And when he couldn't knock the shot down, as you said, presence of mind to go after that ball. Fortunate he wasn't called for a foul.
Here's Dorsey, who scored Oregon's last 8. Brooks from deep. Got it!
He plays one way. Hard. Unbelievable. High motor. Energy. Hasn't shot it well, but he's competing. 6 of 15, but he has 6 rebounds and 13 points.
Here comes Terrell, little bounce. Threaten the needle of Martin, who just has not had his rhythm. 4-point game. Brooks hits the deck. As we come up on the final 8 minutes between Rhode Island and Oregon. Dorsey probing the defense. Out of Brooks. Contact, no call. Iverson clears.
Bodies flying, both teams trying. What's going on here?
Danny Hurley wants a timeout. Rhode Island and Oregon who advances to the round of 32. Well, it was 29 years ago tonight, 88 NCAA tournament. Rhode Island led by Tom Garrick and Kenny Green, leaving the 11-seeded Rams to a 3-point win over the 3-seed Syracuse. They would advance to the Sweet 16. What a moment for this program, trying to get back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1998.
Well, you know, there is no such thing as coincidences. So, you know, to play on this night and that anniversary, take a look at Rhode Island's history. You know, the way that they've got to protect this. Oregon has gotten back into this ball game because they haven't turned it over but 3 times in the last 12-plus minutes. Rhode Island only 3 points off, as opposed to the dominance Rhode Island demonstrated in points off turnovers in the first half.
The Rhode Island team that has won 9 straight games have not lost since February the 15th. Jared Terrell, 13 points for the junior out of Massachusetts.
It's a nice pull-up. He just elevated over Pritchard to knock that one down. That's a difficult shot. He made it look easy.
Brooks, so good with his feet. But his shot tonight has failed him. 6 of 17 from the field. And right now he and the Ducks down by 6.
It's just been a little bit short on all these moves. A couple layups off. I think for him is worried about the size of Iverson. Give Karan a lot of credit. He's done a nice job.
Plus he's had to turn and use his left hand, and the left hand just not getting enough push.
Shot clock down to 4. Iverson. A little bit too much on the 3. Bell saves to Ennis. Both of these teams leaving everything they have on this floor, with the winner advancing to Kansas City in the Sweet 16 to take on Michigan. Eight to shoot. Oregon stagnant in this set. 1 to shoot. Boy, Brooks is fouled on a 3-point shot nonetheless. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Iverson would love to have that one back. Brooks drove it hard. You just want to contest. Got his hand in the cookie jar and he got called.
Now here's your game summary at the 6:03 mark. Second half, Rhode Island and Oregon with the Rams in front by 6.
And for me, the Ducks, Dylan Brooks has struggled. Pretty much everybody on the shooting end, besides Tyler Dorsey. It's been second chance points there, +10, and also the free throw line, a +8 on makes. That's why the reason they're hanging in there. But Rhode Island has done a nice job of shooting a high percentage, and they have Stanford Robinson, who gave them a huge lift off the bench.
So here's Brooks, player of the year in the Pac-12, beating out Lonzo Ball, among others. He was a runner-up last season. One of the great shot makers in college basketball. Let's check in with Roz.
At the end of that Rhode Island timeout, I noticed Dan Hurley went up to Hassan Martin and gave him an extended amount of encouragement, grabbed him, gave him a hug, was talking to him. It just looked like encouragement, as Martin has only played 12 minutes. He's been fighting through foul trouble all game.
He's probably telling him, get in the game. You know, this last 6 minutes, forget about the first 34. We need you now.
Well, the bond between those two so strong. One of Hurley's most critical recruits, if not the biggest, during his time in Kingston.
He still has no points and no rebounds. The guy averages 14 and 7.
Shot clock down to single digits. Here comes Matthews. Left it short. Dorsey cleans the glass. Left side, Bell. 1-point game.
Classic fast break led by Tyler Dorsey. Forced him to commit and then dropped it off to the streaker.
Oregon fighting back with a 20-10 run. Matthews. What does Martin have here? over the top of Bell. And Martin still looking for his first points.
Tyler Dorsey has been the guy on the offensive end. He just draws a double team off that pick and roll. And there's Brooks.
Oregon retakes the lead.
Look at Dorsey right here. Forces the defenders to commit to him and then drops it off nicely. Fundamentally sound basketball with a little bit of skill and talent. Oregon up 2.
Well, the Sweet 16 begins Thursday with the Infinity NCAA tip-off on TBS, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be followed by doubleheaders on both CBS and TBS. It's an 8-0 run for Oregon. They take their first lead since the 2:50 mark of the first half.
Tyler Dorsey has done a lot. You saw the fast break with the pass, but what I love now, the attention he's getting off that pick and roll. And they set that with Brooks. If you're Rams, you want to switch that. They doubled, left Brooks wide open for that 3.
Rhode Island this season in games decided by 5 points or less, 4 and 5. Terrell finds his spot. Well, the question now, can the Rams find enough offense here down the stretch as their scoring has gone cold?
So Oregon getting into their offense, going to Tyler Brooks. He struggled, but he's going to put pressure on you. That's a beautiful steal by Jared Terrell from behind.
And if Rhode Island is going to solve their offensive woes, it probably is going to have to be offense coming from their defense.
Under 4 minutes left. They've missed 5 straight shots before Matthews finds the bottom of the cup.
That was a difficult shot. He was going one way, looking at their bench with his left hand, turned to the bucket and shot a nice floater.
First field goal for the Rams in nearly 4 minutes. Here comes Dorsey, just constantly putting pressure against this Rhode Island defense. Double bonus, 2 free throws for Dorsey when we come back. All right, let's get you the degree move of the game. Huge shot a moment ago by Matthews.
E.C. Matthews driving the basketball, a degree of difficulty, facing his bench. Gets his chance to get his body turned around and balanced. Shot the lefty up and the floater went in. He has 13 points. Big bucket for the Rams.
2 ties, 3 lead changes. If you've just joined us, Rhode Island has led by as many as 11. Oregon's biggest lead, 8. This is Tyler Dorsey at the free throw line. 2 shots, double bonus the rest of the way for the Ducks. 75% free throw shooter on the season. This kid has been nearly perfect for Dana Altman going back through the beginning of that Pac-12 championship. Leads 2 critical points at the free throw line. Rhode Island will slow things down. You see Hurley stomping his feet, trying to get the attention of his players.
This matchup zone, as you can see, you got to find a way to get into the gaps.
Terrell, deep 2. Rhode Island back in front.
Well, we've been talking about Stanford Robinson, but Terrell, 15 points, 6 assists, 4 steals. How about a little love there?
Dorsey outside to Brooks. Nearly coughed it up. Underneath to Bell. Mismatch. Robinson. A defensive gem, but he was out of bounds. What a break for the Ducks. Robinson the steal, but he makes contact with that baseline.
Great mid-range pull-up by Terrell on this play. And then Stanford Robinson, smaller defender, 6'4", but fighting Jordan Bell. Gets on the ground, gathers, tries to call timeout. But the referee said he was out of bounds.
Shot clock does not reset. It's at 10. This is Brooks in the corner. That's a 3. Rebound Matthews, and he is fouled by Dorsey.
Hey guys, they had 9 seconds left on the shot clock before that shot. They need to take a look at the scoreboard. Rhode Island has 10 team fouls. They're in the double bonus. Challenge him. Get to the free throw line.
Anxious moments here in Sacramento. That was only the 5th team foul by Oregon. They've got one more left to give. Here comes Robinson into the corner. Matthews. That last bucket he hit a couple of moments ago, his first of the second half.
Bobby Hurley pulling his guys down in a 1-4 situation. You see Matthews.
Matthews wants to take Bell. It's tapped up and in by Robinson. Trying to etch his name into Rhode Island lore. Timeout Oregon.
Stanford Robinson said, I want to get my name back over here in the broadcast booth. What a follow for him, and what a game so far.
Here's to you, Mr. Robinson.
Stanford Robinson having a game of his life. He has matched his season high 21 points and has given his Rams a 4-point lead as he tries to get Rhode Island into the Sweet 16 for the first time in 19 years.
And Stanford Robinson just enjoying the spotlight. Transfer from Indiana. At Indiana in 2 years, averaged a little less than 5 points a game. Shot 40% from the field. You throw all that out the window.
What about the resolve now of this Oregon team that has been just so good in the Pac-12 the last couple of years? This is Ennis, their 6th-year senior, absorbing contacts and a chance to cut it to 2 here with just over 2 minutes left and a date to the Sweet 16 hanging in the balance.
You saw Ennis drive the basketball. Good job by Matthews to cut him off, but his experience and his strength got a chance to carve out some space and got himself to the free throw line for 2.
And any aggressive move may draw a foul from Rhode Island. There are more than 10 team fouls, and that'll put Oregon on the line for the 2-shot bonus. They've got to realize that and not settle for jump shots unless they're wide open.
I told you about Ennis, 25 years old. He's the oldest kid in this current NCAA tournament, 6th-year senior, who has had a circuitous route to Eugene. Started at Rice, transferred to Villanova. This free throw here, offensive rebound out to Dorsey. Shot clock resets. Brooks from deep.
Boy, critical 2 offensive rebounds.
This is Dorsey. He get it. Offensive rebounds by the Ducks.
You cannot afford fundamental breakdown. Put a body on somebody, Rhode Island.
Now that last Tyler Dorsey shot has been changed to a 3, and we are tied at 72.
Watch Dylan Ennis tip this one out. Jordan Bell gathers it, and then the hardest thing is find a 3-point shooter off the offensive rebound scramble. Squared his body up. Tyler Dorsey, 24 points, 8 of 9. We are all tied up. Minute and 44 to go.
And that's the wide open jumper I was saying you take against a team that's got 10 or more team fouls. But man, you talk about a missed opportunity for Rhode Island. No block out.
Some light full court press. Here comes Matthews, but a lot of contact. Offensive foul on Matthews, and that's his 4th.
First of all, dangerous pass.
Whoa. We got the benefit of replay, but there was a little lean. You see Matthews tried to avoid it, and the lean to the right by Dylan Brooks just a little bit. Like I said, probably that lean was imperceptible to the officials, but take a look. Just a little bit.
And Hurley will sit Matthews down here. You have to think very briefly with only $1:38 left. And this thing tied at 72.
Good job by Dan Hurley, because on the defensive end right now, you don't want him to play his 5th foul.
Keep in mind, Brooks was playing with 3s, stepping in to try to take that charge. This is Ennis. Brooks Long two from Ennis, well short. And finally, Rhode Island able to protect its defensive glass.
I love the shot fake by Ennis. Nice job. When you have a hard closeout, a shot fake, got himself a high percentage shot. He just shot it short. All tied up. Minute left.
All tied at 72. 2 critical points to make here. Rhode Island is out of timeouts. And Oregon now on the defensive side of the floor has 1 foul to give. Smitty, where do you like to see him go here?
Well, I think for Rhode Island, the key is for them is they have guys that can beat you off the dribble. But what Oregon does is match up. They disguise their matchup zone as a man-to-man. Some kind of way you want to get into the lane. You have Stanford Robinson. You also have Doughton and also Matthews. And Terrell can knock down shots.
But I think the way Rhode Island is deploying themselves, Oregon's going to go straight man. Hard heads off the high screens.
Inbound to Iverson. The winner of this one advances to the Sweet 16 to take on Michigan in Kansas City.
There's the hard heads right there, but that's it.
Pass was deflected and into the outstretched arms of Bell. And now Oregon can take the lead. It was Dylan Ennis who got his fingertip on it.
Off that pick and roll, Terrell picked up his dribble and was late on that pass.
Well, he picked it up because of the hard hedge forced him out.
Dorsey, splash! .27 for the LA Kid.
Rhode Island has no timeouts if you're wondering why they're not calling it.
Robinson. Offensive rebound, Doughton. Shot clock is off, 17 seconds. They are out of timeouts. Oregon has a foul to give. And Altman telling his guys to take it right here. 11 seconds left as everyone catches their breath.
Smart play. Also, like you said, Dana Altman calling out. And there's that steal right here. He didn't pick it up. And when you come off that screen and roll, you can't pick up your dribble. And then a walk-in 3 by Dorsey. Big-time shot for the Ducks.
Yeah, I agree with you. You can't pick up your dribble. The hard hedge forced them out. And then the coverage in the middle, recognizing the roll to the basket needed to be covered. That was an outstanding defensive play by Oregon.
Rhode Island again out of timeouts. Down 3. Matthews for the tie. Iverson trying to save. Down to 1 and it is over. Oregon survives and has punched their ticket to the Sweet 16.
What a ball game. Good defense by Jordan Bell, and the step back, that's just way too deep. He didn't hit anything. Iverson tried to save it, but right into Brooks. The Ducks win this one. Tyler Dorsey with a big shot.
Well, I'll tell you again, he was the guy at the beginning of the game that Oregon had to have some concern about because it didn't look like he was involved. Dana Altman took him out early, put him back in. He gained his perspective, and man, he had the final word.
Oregon closes the night on a 7-0 run over the final 2 minutes and 1 second. Tyler Dorsey, 27 points, 9 of 10 from the field, including 4 of 5 from deep, and a game winner in the final seconds. And agony on the other end of the floor for Rhode Island.
Yeah, what a hard-fought game. I know these Rams are upset that you see Martin didn't have the game he wanted. It came down to the wire, back and forth. I really enjoyed this one, but Tyler Dorsey with a huge one.
Roz standing by with Tyler Dorsey.
Tyler, we talked about your teammates calling you Mr. March. In these big moments, those big shots, how do you approach them?
It's a big moment, and as a player, all those nights in the gym. It was just a great moment for us, and Coach put the ball in my hand, and I just made big shots, and we came together as a team in the second half, and we got stops and rebounds, and I'm just happy to move on. It was a tough one.
In particular, I mean, you guys were trailing as much as 11. What is it about this team that you didn't get down?
Last year, we was in the same position with St. Joseph, down 7 with like 3 minutes to go. And we're going to keep competing. It's a 40-minute fight, and we play to the end. It's never over.
So you feel experience is something that's going to help you through the rest of this tournament?
Definitely. We know that we can't play lackadaisical like we did against a good Rhode Island team. Now we got Michigan. We're going to go back home, celebrate a little bit, but we're not happy. We're not satisfied. We want to get back to the Elite Eight and further, so we're not really, it's nothing much, man.
There's nothing more to say. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, when you consider everything that was on the line tonight, Tyler Dorsey may have just played the game of his life. 27 points, and now Oregon is through. They are headed to Kansas City to take on John Beilein and Michigan on Thursday night.
What I saw was they played the Rams even in the paint. They were plus 11 on second chance points, but held the Rams to only 8 free throw attempts the entire game.
I'll tell you what, the Michigan team, you know, they're cardiac kids as well. Ice water in their veins. They can win close ones. They shoot the ball real well from the perimeter. Oregon's going to have to tighten up their D.
Final score, Oregon 75, Rhode Island 72. Tune now to TNT for live second round coverage. Coming up next on TBS, Cincinnati and UCLA. We'll break, send you to the studio for the Capital One Tournament Central after this.